On 3 or 4 evenings a week, I still find myself taking that path down to the river, and the little wooden bridge still known to some who lived here before the war as the Bridge of Hesitation. We called it that because, until not so long ago, crossing it would have taken you into our pleasure district, and conscience-troubled men, so it was said, were to be seen hovering there, caught between seeking an evening's entertainment and returning home to their wives.
The new book, An Artist of the Floating World, spans that moment of fracture in Japanese society before and after the Second World War.
I realized that my real interest was in people who they've given the bulk of their careers and their energies to a social project that they thought was an honorable one, that the entire country was caught up in, only to find that history has shown that they've been on the wrong side, that they were contributing to something terrible. And the past is open to manipulation and to forgetfulness, to convenient forgetfulness.
It's quite an interesting place to be in this intersection between the past and the present and the future, you and the question of forgetting and remembering, and in there somewhere. It's not all so clear-cut anymore.
I have found in my career, the really important breakthroughs are not obvious moments at all. They come at you like funny little scruffy little moments in your life. I had been trying to figure out how to write my second novel. I was in bed with a virus for a few days, and there was something in my bed, under the bedclothes. But I had a high temperature, and I just kept kicking it all the time to one side, and it'll be there again. And I had this kind of, I was annoyed that there was some sort of hard kind of object in my bed, and this this delirious thing went on for some time, and then after a couple of days, I went down into the bedclothes and discovered that it was actually a thick volume of Proust, a remembrance of things past. It just kind of flooded into me in a revelatory sense. And I thought, actually, this is really incredible, because he's just completely abandoned linear narrative. If you put one episode from 25 years ago next to something that happened that's rather troubling 4 days ago, put them right next to each other, but don't fully explain why one has triggered the next in the narrator's mind. Just have them there. Then you've created that interesting vacuum. You've created a momentum. You've created a mystery.
An Artist of the Floating World plays with time and memory. It's set in a richly textured, imaginary Japanese city in the late 1940s. The central character is an artist, now in old age, trying to understand his past.
His career just happened to coincide with that rise of fascism in Japan. And somewhere along the way, his career as an artist dovetails with propaganda art. And a lot of his famous works after the war are seen as something that championed something dark and evil and fascistic. And they have become unacceptable. He's not being accused of doing something ghastly or massacring people or anything like this. But did the times that he lived through, did those times and the poison in those times contaminate his life enough to rob him of dignity and pride at the end of his life when he looked back? That it would matter to him.
And this conversation is going on about, again, Japan's past and about the different perspectives that different generations have on it.
He's not quite sure whether he has been accused or whether he's just reading too much into things when younger people particularly say things to him.
There seems to be no end of courageous deaths, he said eventually. Half of my high school graduation year have died courageous deaths. They were all for stupid causes, though they were never to know that. Do you know, Father, what really makes me angry? What is that, Suichi? Those who sent the likes of Kenji out there to die these brave deaths, where are they today? They're carrying on with their lives much the same as ever. Many are more successful than before, behaving so well in front of the Americans, the very ones who led us to disaster. And yet it's the likes of Kenji we have to mourn. This is what makes me angry. Brave young men die for stupid causes, and the real culprits are still with us, afraid to show themselves for what they are, to admit their responsibility. To my mind, that's the greatest cowardice of all.
Your books aren't judgmental about characters. You leave space.
The point of the exercise wasn't judging. It was really a projection forward, These are warnings to myself and my own generation, and trying to say, look, it's awfully difficult when you're living through history to get a clear vision of it and to get a clear vision of your own role in it.